This 1970s Bianchi wedding dress was donated to me in hopes that I might find a good, loving home for it. It was worn by Barbara for her Massachusetts wedding in September of 1978. She found the dress at Neiman Marcus in Washington, D.C., and she said that she just loved the classic style of it, and I completely agree. I think this is just as beautiful today as it was back then. The dress itself had been stored and quote-unquote preserved after her wedding, but she opened it last fall and did see that there is some oxidation that occurred, and it just kind of concentrates to the lower part of the skirt. You can see here that the lower portion of the skirt is darker than the rest of the dress. So I did a fiber burn test to determine that it is silk, and you can see here the color difference. We've been having some hot weather lately, and so I thought I would do an experiment and use the heat to our advantage, because a lot of times with soaking, you're wanting to kind of try to maintain a warmer water temp. Now, this is silk, so I don't want it to be any warmer than 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So I put it out in a bucket in the sun and put it on a rolling dolly because, of course, that gets heavy. And I'm surprised how fast that the water temperature went up. I was expecting it to take far longer, but it's pretty warm here. So I was able to get that water temperature at a good point about 3 hours later. Did the initial soak in plain water first in the house, and look at the yellow water just from the plain water. And now I'm going to use Mama's Miracle Linen Soak for the taking care of the oxidation and the yellowing. This product states that it is safe on silk, and you dissolve it in hot water. Of course, you're not going to want to soak the silk in hot water. So I'm just dissolving the powdered solution in the hot water and adding it to that tub. And we're still in the safe range. We're at 82. So I'm able to put the dress in. And I'm putting it outside, like I said, and I'm keeping it covered because we have bugs and birds and actually a mulberry tree nearby. So I wanted to keep it covered to protect it from anything that might get into the tub. So I'm just gently moving it around here and keeping that cover on, which I'm using clamps to keep in place. And this is just kind of a polyester organza fabric sling that I use. So I'm going to check it in an hour and see how it's looking, kind of moving it around, and I can see that it's brighter already. I don't want to soak it any longer than necessary, and the temperature's starting to get a little high, so I decided to pull it out. So I put it in another tub and brought it back in the house, and look at, there's more yellow water, so I know it has done what I'm wanting it to do. So I'm bringing it back inside into another tub and did a rinse, and then I did another rinse with vinegar, which can help with silk, and then did one more rinse to rinse that out, and then did the hang on my little hang rack thing and let it drip until it was no longer dripping, and then did a towel roll to get the extra moisture out. Now I put it on my mannequin, and the cap sleeves were really quite tight, so then I put some shaped hard foam pieces covered in plastic underneath it to kind of reshape those out. The underdress is a sort of probably a taffeta, an acetate taffeta, so I did a pressing on the wrong side of that. And then on the silk, I just put it on the silk setting and did it very quickly. And then each one of those little lace motifs, I did some pressing, and I did a quick spritz of peroxide on the front bits of the lace on the headpiece to brighten those just a bit. And here, let's just look at the beautiful dress in the sun. It's so pretty. I love that the discoloration or the oxidation came out. The dress overall brightened up beautifully, and this dress is just as beautiful and classic, ready for another happily ever after 46 years later.